Yes. And there was a big difference too when we would have new accounts and tellers coming from big banks, and they would take abuse from customers, just yell at them and no, you're going to come in, you're going to do that. No, close their account down.
Yeah.
You've created this whole scene. We did nothing wrong. Here's your money. Go somewhere else.
All right, we're back. Another episode of Expandable. Over your career, you've had to deal with lots of difficult customers.
Yes.
And I'm curious what your approach is. You know, is you have one approach at how you handle, like, you know, or do you kind of find yourself in the mix? Because I know with banking, it's like, it's probably not just one big blow up. It's like, probably builds.
Yes.
This has happened. Now there's another red flag. And I'm not talking about fraud or, you know, egregious things. I'm talking about like just the customer is a bad customer.
Just normal.
Yeah.
So
taking advantage of your services or, you know, something like that.
It all depends. It really does. It depends on, you know, too, how early of a relationship. Mm-hmm. If they're just new and now difficult, yes, that's going to be a sign. They're going to be difficult forever.
That's right.
You're never going to make them happy. That
versus they've been here for a long time and now something went wrong, or in their perspective.
And then you do have the times where people are right, but then they went overboard.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe they shouldn't have acted the way they did, but, you know, we've all been in situations like that too.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, it's a repeat behavior.
Yeah.
It really is because
you probably have repeat bad behavior inside of accounts that's not necessarily talking to someone that they're saying something. It's more of just how they're operating, you know, doing things last minute or pulling stuff from accounts that are trying to get your team to do stuff that they can't do. And then there's probably other.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people was, you know, lack of preparation.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do this. It was, you know, they didn't do it ahead of time, difficulty and that. And it depends on types of relationships of that. Now, you can have a complex business relationship where their bookkeeper's always kind of behind. And then you've got to set like, okay, now, you know, we very rarely ever charge for research, you know, generally, you know, because a lot of it's, I misplaced this.
Yeah, let's go look it up.
A few years ago. And if, depending on where you are in the systems and how quick you're off, if you can get it like that, you just, you know, your staff give it to them.
Yeah.
No big
it's
deal.
sort of
You're not going to charge it.
Part of the deal.
Yeah. If it became a burden, then that's a different. But when things are just one-offs like that, now you just go ahead and handle.
Yeah.
But where it does become very difficult is when on the loan scenario where you have a difficult customer, now you've got a relationship of possible foreclosure. That is the difficult because, you know, or, you know, when you have larger commercial loans, after loan is funded, but annually you still need to get proof of paying property taxes, having insurance coverage, you know, keeping up annual financial submissions. So they have to submit their financial records. And, you know, that can be difficult where it's like, you know, every year we're going to ask for this. We ask for every year, you know, we have to do it. It's part of prudent, that part.
And then if they lag on that and try to put the burden on your team to get it out of them, pull it out of them, that becomes not a good relationship.
I mean, but you're kind of stuck into that point. You know, they're still making their payments. You don't, you know.
Yeah.
But it's so emphasized. And so that part can get frustrating. You kind of have a both sides. Look, let's do here, you know, because ultimately, if those individuals are such a pain every year, this, even if they're paying, if they want to borrow more money, then, I mean, why do we still want to deal with people like you've been a hassle every single time.
So you then, what I think you're saying is on the front end, you try to, not that you're looking for this explicitly,
but you can't tell on the front end.
If on the front end, there's these red flags, it's kind of like, well, maybe we shouldn't do business together. And that's the best way to not get off on the wrong foot. It really is. Then if you have someone for a long time and you recognize there's stuff that's happened in their personal life, or just, you know, maybe their life's imploded, and we're gonna work through it with them because you know that this is just not the character long term. Yeah, because actually in lending, that's one of the things is character.
Yeah,
you're looking at, you know,
that's one of the 5 C's of credit. Yeah.
So how does this extend to your team? Because I mean, you're not in you're not really in a lot of these conversations. You're in some of the higher level conversations, but you know, I know how you operate, but for the audience, like, what role does your team take? Do they have a process in which they handle certain negative, discipline conversations? Or
one thing that we learned a long time ago, and nobody likes to submit their financials on loans, and so you've got to have covenants and agreements. Okay, if you don't submit your financials, great. The rate's going to increase by X amount of percentage. Lo and behold, they send their financials.
That's
we
in
can do
the
our
terms?
annual audit. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
That immediately take it over. So you're able to put in terms that we wish we didn't have to come into play because you already agreed upon every year to provide these.
Yeah.
And so things like that.
So that's good.
Keep
You have
it
to
consistent.
fall back to. Yeah.
Correct. So that kind of.
So the procedure then takes you there. Okay.
Yeah. So it's almost like, that took care of that excess. And then it is kind of endemic when if people aren't filing in a timely manner, of course they can file extensions and by all means, but I'm thinking past that or file, always waiting the last minute insurance. Typically that is, things are going south anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what I've noticed too is, you have really good high level people that are interfacing with customers.
I stay involved in regards to every little bit of charge off, and a charge off is somebody in the account, even if it's a small dollar amount, because then that allows me to hear pain points, and it could be indicative of a longer. Typically, it's like a network issue on cards because there's so many nuances to networks, and and
then that stacks up in your mind.
Correct. Like we had to charge off $80. A customer I believe wholeheartedly have known for years did not make that transaction at that drugstore. But how in the world did it, they say, oh, well, we got the chip and, won't give you proof of anything else other than, it was a chip transaction. We accept their word. These chips can be stolen. Yes. They can be doing this,
I've seen a lot of videos online
about it. Give me a break.
I saw some guy who took
so
it
it's
dissolved
like,
the card.
thank you. And, we ended up eating it, eating the cost. Oh, the network says it's not possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that some guy dissolved the card just to see if the chip and like the wire that's in there would work on its own, and he made it work. Like it's like you didn't need any of the rest of it; you just needed that one little piece. So there's lots of ways to do it.
Yeah, but even that I think they can take the other technology and skim it. So just
yeah. Well, I think you have a lot of high level employees that are can make critical decisions on lots of levels on their own independently. And they don't require you or any other executives to get in the mix, really not, much at all. And so I think I know the answer, but, I think it's worth asking is like when you have someone new come in to replace someone that's, moving on or retiring or something, is that a lot of what's being transferred to the next person? Is like there's skill, right? And there's how do you use this system and how you do these things and how do you the process, but then it's like the soft skill of
how we deal with the situation.
Right.
Yes. And, there was a big difference too when we would have new accounts and tellers coming from big banks. And, they would take abuse from customers, just yell at them and no, you're going to come in, you're going to do that. No, close your account down.
Yeah.
You've created this whole scene. We did nothing wrong. Here's your money. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're ceasing this. We're not taking this abuse.
Right.
And when they've seen me over the years, just calmly say, okay, well, this is not going to work out. We're going to close your account down. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
They were blown away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that customer's going to cost us so much money over the long run. You're never going to make them happy.
Yeah.
They're rude. I don't want to deal with them.
Right.
We shouldn't deal with them.
Send them to the big bank.
But really you can see the characteristics. The people that scream the loudest are the fraudsters too.
Yeah.
They really are. I need this and that because
if they frustrate you or, get you out of line, then you're going to
they immediately go to you're stealing from me this. It's because they're stealing.
Yeah. 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 It's interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool. I think that's
but handle difficult customers.
I think
case by case.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Be it new, be it old. I honestly think there's a good sort of comp between a big bank and a small bank, and then one bank to another. You guys have high marks from your customers for customer service, which is kind of like your calling card, like how you handle customers. So I think that the fact that you guys do it so well, speaks to how you handle difficult situations, because ultimately those are the ones that are going to scream on Google or whatever.
But sometimes, I'm going to say difficult, or ones that we've had a difficult situation with, they've also become your best customers too.
Right. That's a great opportunity.
Sometimes you really do have somebody that they're frustrated and they've got completely logical, and they've uncovered, a network or service and a vulnerability too. So there are ways, that they can help you on things, but, and they've turned out to be best customers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like, you can see it sometimes when you start to see it form as a problem, and you're like, oh, this actually could turn out to be a really good thing. So let's move through this swiftly and get them on the other side, because then they're going to be high value customer for a long term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.